eventually, when you break that cycle of limitation, lack, and not enough, doing things for yourself, the money will come from many different ways. And I can assure you that because it's possible.
The biggest part is this is all about practice. Getting out of that scarcity mindset. And we're going to suck the first 100 times we do anything.
Those emotions are not going to leave us until we understand how to deal with them. So you just planting the seed, and then you put it out the signal to the universe, and it comes the point the universe is so used to it, it will have to deliver because you already put the frequency out.
Everything is an invitation to change. Welcome everybody again for joining us today on the Reality Practice live Q&A with Liliana and Joey. Today, like I said, we're going to just have an open forum to ask any questions you'd like about reality practice, manifestation, creating your reality, the quantum, spirituality, any topic is really on the table today. Anyways, I'll start off. There was a great post on the Reality Practice, the private group, and it was a saying by Neville Goddard, or a quote by Neville Goddard, and it said, "There is no ascended masters. Banish this superstition. Your belief in a master is a confession of your slavery. Only slaves have masters." So that was a quote by Neville Goddard, and I love it. It really plays on the idea of, there is no one else but you. And the idea that we think about or believe in an ascended master or somebody higher of higher intelligence that's going to somehow give us some kind of wisdom, some kind of knowledge that we don't already have is kind of the paradox that we live in, this whole illusion of reality. We're living behind this cloak, behind this curtain, that if we could just see the other side, we'd understand that the possibilities are endless. The information is abundant. We can tap into any point in time in the quantum field. And the idea that we're waiting for somebody to come here, that we're waiting for a specific master to teach us something that we don't already know, it's counterproductive. It's actually giving you more of what you are focusing on, which is lack. If somebody's coming to save us, then we're probably never going to get saved, because the person that's going to save us is ourselves. So we've been trapped in this, in this mental slavery for, thousands of years, believing that somebody is coming back to save us. Even we go back to religion, even with Christianity, and how Jesus is supposed to come back and rise again and save us. And everything keeps pointing back to that, the fact that no one is coming to save us necessarily. Everything is within us. The Christ is within us. That is that power of creation. That is that power of our imagination. So let's take a look at the board here and see where we're at. Hey, Richard, how are you doing? Let's see. So cute. Joey, what do you think of my email? Yeah, Richard sent in an email to me, and we can kind of talk about that a little bit. Had a great conversation with Richard last week, and we kind of dug deep into some of his self-limiting beliefs, some of his the way of thinking. Hey, there's Liliana joining us.
Hey.
Hello, beautiful. Did you forget to set your clock back an hour?
No, it's still 5 here. It's still 5 in here. It's not 6 yet.
Oh, so you guys don't participate in this silly nonsense of daylight savings?
No, what's happened is the iPhones, they update automatically. So it's still 5 in here in UK. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Now you're blowing my mind here.
Yeah, in
your
country,
everybody shifted at the same time-wise.
No, because in your country, it's now 1 hour. Well, it's instead of being 12, or in the old time it was 12, now it's 11, isn't it? Now in here, we still 5 until midnight. So today it's still 5 p.m. So at midnight, it's going to be 11.
Well, I'll be damned. So will this ever change, or are you guys going to stay in this 1 hour off?
No, you're not understanding.
I'm not
because we haven't reached the midnight yet. The midnight, we're still 5 p.m.
Okay, but it changes today, tonight at midnight. It changes.
Exactly.
Okay, so your guys' time zone change is a couple days off from ours. Is all it is, but it will eventually it changes tonight. Okay, I got you now.
It doesn't matter.
I didn't know.
I was like, it's not 6 o'clock yet, but okay, I'll join.
I apologize. I didn't know that.
It's all right. The only problem is I've got no battery. I have like maybe 25%. Let's see when is they gonna take me.
You might die on us like I did a few weeks ago when I was down in Mexico and my computer died. So
it doesn't matter.
Either way,
share it to my feed, please, so people can join it if you can.
Okay, let me hop in and do that real quick. If you wanna take the floor for a few minutes, and I'll get this shared over to your feed.
And I have to hold my phone because obviously, I'm not at home. I'm in a friend's house. So, hello everyone. Richard is there because I saw him. Hi, Richard Fay. I can't see who's there, but I saw Richard logging in. So, he's a top follower. Hey, Richard. I love you, man. How are you, Richard?
I've got a story I was going to talk about. He sent me an email, so I'll get into that here in a second.
Lovely.
On some work we're doing together. So.
Richard, just ask some people who think I might be interested in our topic tonight. I've got no makeup, and I'll tell you why. People that are watching, because I've done a beautiful facial. I felt like, let's go and do a facial today. Why not? So, it's the age is catching up. So I'm looking forward to see your questions today, Richard, because we'll be able to answer. We have no specific topic to talk about. So all the questions will be open for us to help you guys. But let me, while Joey is doing that, let me say that this week I had tons of messages, and I apologize to everyone that I could not respond, because like you guys, I was hit with the same thing. It hit me very, very, very hard, and everybody's complaining with anxiety, grievance, stress, worry, waking up middle of the night, and so on and so on. Now, this is not kind of usual kind of anxiety. It's kind of deep loss, like crying days in, days out, and I had it for a week. I thought it was because I've over my relationship, but it's not. Apparently, it's something ongoing. So I'm happy to know that I'm not missing anyone. It's just the universe saying, "Get it all out, girl." It felt like I lost a relative or something. It was like so much crying. I was like, "Oh, why am I crying for?"
You always have such new lunar cycles and everything. Always have such a impact on you. I mean, they bury you for a day or two typically. I used to feel that a lot. I feel like the last few months though, I've really powered through. Like, it's actually given me more energy for whatever reason, where it used to take it from me. Now it's like powering me up and giving me more inspiration, more vision. So I don't know if I've done something different, or if just the energies are somehow coming in different with me. But
no, I know what it is. It's because some of us has more to purge than others. Some of us are more, I don't know. I think it is. I'm not sure because I'm not an expert. But the way I see it is, as you heal different wounds at different time, they knock you. So I think I'm still on a healing process. As much as I don't want to think that I'm still there, it's good because I'm taking all out. Even today when I was doing my facial, I was like, wanted to cry. I was like, what I wanted to cry for? I can't understand what I'm crying for. It's like, because I'm looking after myself, and as I'm healing every single aspect of me, including loving myself to the fullness, obviously these things happen. But I'm not the only one, because I received so many texts. I've read them all, but I couldn't reply to all. This Mary Gobel, Maribel.
Mary Goebel, yeah,
Yeah.
she actually just joined us, and she's talking about scarcity mindset.
Darling, we need to help her with that, Joe. We need to put a package together, perhaps help this girl because she lives on survival. And sorry to say this, life, darling, you're not the only one. There are a lot of people who are just living and they can't shift their mindset. And we need to help these people. They are the ones who need to. There is a lot of blockages there that need to go, and that's the reason why. But this is a conversation for behind the scenes, maybe. So.
Yeah, and we can definitely, hit some aspects of it today, though, in terms of just the generosity of it. And it all goes back to our mindset and what we allow in and what we don't allow in, and how we've been programmed throughout our entire life.
Exactly.
And it comes from, that programming is our patterns. That's what I've talked about it on a couple shows recently, in terms of how we form these patterns, these beliefs. It's like if let's imagine we wake up one morning and a new 12 inches of snow has fallen on the ground, and now you go out skiing in that snow and you make a path the first time, and you go over it again a second time and a third time and a fourth time, and before you know it, you've got a rut that's starting to form. And that's the same way our neural pathways work in our brains. And
we have to break the cycle.
That's right. We just keep getting that deeper and deeper rut that we're in, and it becomes comfortable. It becomes, you don't even have to try at that point because your skis just stay right on the path. You have to literally physically get off of that rut or get out of that rut,
and it's hard
to find another, to make another neural pathway. And the beautiful thing, the realization I had with it all, was our brain's full of trillions of neurons, and the way our memories are formed is those specific neurons they get triggered to fire in a certain pattern, and that is how that pathway is formed. But those neurons, trillions of them, can be rearranged and formed in any specific order. So that literally means that there's an infinite number of neural pathways our minds can create, and that for memories, for emotions, things like that. So literally, we have an infinite number of realities that we can create within our brain. It's like a mini universe in there. And it's just, how do we connect the vibration between the different neurons? Each time forms a new memory. So we can go back and we can rewrite the past and create the future by learning how to create new neural pathways, create new ruts in a sense. I think we want to create the right ruts, the positive ruts, instead of the mindset, the ruts of lack, the ruts of
not having enough, because that's what. Because Maribel, what I was going to say to you privately, because I felt her, Let me just say to you, darling, I felt you so deep. And I think I took on a little bit of what you felt, because I take people's emotions on me. I don't like this bit, by the way, but I do. So I was crying like a crying baby, and I thought, oh my gosh, she's like feeling like this. Nobody hurt me or anything. Nobody spanked me or anything like that. But I felt like I was like punished for something I didn't do. So in order to shift that reality, this is just a prime example how emotions affect us. I hope you take something from here today, because this is for you, Maribel. I had to do something. I said, no, I can't just be at home crying because I haven't done anything. This emotion is going to set me right back. What am I going to do today? Because this has been going for a week, I'm going to book myself a therapy, like a beauty therapy, because this is what I feel good, right? So I've done that. And pampering myself is loving myself. People love themselves in different ways and forms and shapes, and it could be just picking flowers. Some of them was just buy a bunch of flowers. I decided to spend some cash on me today, and I was like, okay. Some people say I don't have enough because I've been on survival mode. When you're on survival mode, if you don't do it, you still keep on the survival mode. It's like you go in there and you think, oh, but if I don't have enough, how can I splash it? I mean, use something. Use a credit card. Just borrow some money for somebody. I know I shouldn't say this, but eventually the money will come up. This is just for you. This is not how I do it for myself entirely, but this is an example of how you can do it for yourself. Imagine if you have tight budget and you can't spare a pound. I've been like that last year, honestly. I know what I'm talking about, and this is so hard because although I never have for me, I always end up for everyone. And I can tell you publicly, I helped somebody with the GoFundMe account, and this person stole money from me, about £800 from me. So I thought, you know why? Because they stole this money from me. The reason why is because I was not pampering myself and not loving myself enough. I was keep giving this love to everybody else. When you break that pattern, this is just another example, another layer of me helping me to help myself, okay? So I said, you know what? The money is never there for us, but it's always for somebody else. That's wrong. We shouldn't help somebody else. You should help yourself first every single day. So pampering is one of the things you can do, and then you don't think about how you're going to do it. You just go and do it and say, this is how I'm going to raise my vibration because I want to do it. Eventually, when you break that cycle of limitation, lack, and not enough, doing things for yourself, the money will come from many different ways. And I can assure you that because it's possible. Absolutely. If it's any helpful for you. Because while you keep helping other people, it doesn't matter if it's your brother, your uncle, your whatever, because I've done that for my brother in the past. I've done this for many people, for my boyfriend, including for cars. Always had money for the cars repairs and all. Never had money for me, but always the money come up with the car repairs. How? Because I was not loving myself enough. I was loving the other person always more than myself. Is that understood?
All right. Yeah, and I think one last thing on that. Let's see. Hey, Diana, you're not late. The time zone switch got everything screwed up. Apparently, the UK doesn't switch time zones the same time as the United States does. No. It's 12 o'clock here, but it's only 5 o'clock there. So, no, you haven't missed anything specifically yet. Hello, Michelle. Let's see. Richard, we're going to get to your topic next. Let's finish up here, though, with Mary. And the thing I would say is, the biggest part is this is all about practice, getting out of that scarcity mindset. And we're going to suck the first 100 times we do anything, the first 1,000 times, depending on how hard it is. So you've got to look at it as if out of 10 times, maybe once you're going to get it right. And the other 9 times you're going to fail. Keep practicing. Then it's going to be 10 times out of 2, then 3 times or out of 10, then 3, then 4, then 5 times out of 10. What you're trying to do is build that confidence in your faith, in your belief of the power that you truly have. You have this power to create anything, but we have this overwhelming, subconscious belief that we can't do it. So it's just a matter of continuing to practice, continuing to believe and know that this power is within you. It is happening, whether you can see it every time or not. It's just a matter of trust, letting go of your perceived belief of what's possible.
Exactly.
Believing and knowing that this is possible. The faster you let go of that, the faster this scarcity mindset will begin to disappear.
Because things and opportunities will come up.
More prevalent.
Exactly, Joey. Absolutely spot on. Maribel, I want you to do this for me. Although you think you are limited to everything and you can spend a penny, I've been there. I promise you. I've been there. And the money always been there for somebody else. Every single time there was a car breakage, Lily pays. This expense, Lily pays. Brother needs this, Lily pays. But Lily doesn't have enough for herself. You need to break that pattern. Whatever is going on in your life, you say, you don't have a spare for me. You're going to break that in your head. And then you will have to trust it with zero doubt. Okay, I'm going to do this today because I deserve it. I don't care where the money going to come from. It will. It's your mindset. There's nothing else. Because if you think like doubting, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be short, then you're going to be short. Do you understand?
She said, Mary responded, said, thank you. I have the money to splurge, but here, I'll put it up on the screen. I have the money to splurge, but yes, I came from extreme neglect and poverty. And I think I keep myself living in survival mode for fear of being back there again. I won't spoil myself in any way. And then I see others living normal, and I just have resentment that I won't do it for myself.
There
I
you go.
dumped a lot into stocks to recurve abundance, and it's got me scared again because it's down terribly. Yeah.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah,
She
that's a
said it.
pattern. It's a pattern of what we believe will happen based on our memories of the past. That's all it is. And that goes perfectly right into kind of the next topic, which I was going to talk about Richard's letter. I worked with Richard last week, and while we were talking, we discovered that he has a lot of resentment towards his mother growing up, because he revealed that his brother was always the favored one in the family. His brother was smarter. His brother got all of the perks, all of the praise, all of the love. He graduated early. So he was kind of the blessed child. And Richard, on the other hand, felt as though he was not, he was on the other end of that spectrum, that he got it worse than his brother. His mom, neglected him, was abusive towards him. And this was the story. This is what he was remembering. This is what he was experiencing. And I could tell just in talking with him, it fired him up. It got new emotions, not new emotions, those emotions of the past that he continues to live in, that memory of the past. It was reigniting that for him again, something he hadn't thought about consciously, but obviously was driving him subconsciously throughout his day. Typically, I mean, that's how our subconscious mind works, is these deep-seated thoughts, these memories of our past. They're the ones creating our reality. They're the ones that's what we're projecting out into the world, whether we realize it or not. It's rare that it comes out when we're talking like consciously, but when it does, it throws up a flag. It's like ding, ding, ding. We got to heal from that before we can move forward. So what I gave him the exercise to do was to go back and script out exactly how it used to be. Write out exactly what he felt, how he saw it, how he remembered that experience being, as painful as it was. Then I wanted him to go back and rewrite it in the way that he wished it would have been, the way that he perceived it to be, where it would have been a happy memory, or just a memory that worked in his favor or worked with the universe versus against the universe. Now, there is no against. We're always working for. The universe is always working for us, but at the same time, our subconscious mind tells us it's not. So we need to create new neural pathways. We need to create new memories. And how do we do that? Through our emotions. So Richard did a fantastic job.
He's brilliant.
Oh, yes. And for those of you that don't know Richard, he's autistic. So he's had different setbacks in his life and probably wasn't identified early on. And a lot of that resentment from his mom was because he had that autism. So she felt shame on her family, bringing him out in public or making a big deal about it, because she felt it reflected poorly on him or on her. And that's kind of that story that we have to rewrite. We have to rewrite that entire idea, because that was your perception of what she thought. Her story is completely different than yours. Her thoughts, her feelings may or may not be what you believe them to be. It's only what you are telling yourself
perceived to be.
Perceive them to be.
He's very clever. He doesn't have to think like that, because Richard, on your defense, you are the most incredible human being that I know, and he's the most helpful on our property group. He helps everyone for free. So you should start helping yourself for free, not for free, paid. Richard, just stick with us, because you're going to becoming the best at what you do, because he's very good. He's an autistic champion already. He's just not using it on his advantage. But he's going to. We're going to help him out.
I would say the next step for you, Richard, before we talk again, will be take the version, your version of how you want it to be was much less than the version of what you remember it being. So it's about a fourth as long as the story you're telling yourself it was. So what I want you to do now is I want you to dive deeper into that new story, into that new reality, and take what you want out of it, create it that same way, but go deeper and start putting some emotions into it. Start putting your senses into it. We have five. We have our 5 physical senses, then we have our 6th sense, our intuition, our higher self. Start incorporating some of those senses into this image, into this idea of what you want the past to have been, the story you want to tell. And when you start invoking your senses, like find a specific moment that you can create of when your mom did something amazing for you, or told you you did such a great job and was there to support you because you achieved at school or whatever, and it was such a great moment that it just overwhelms your heart with this feeling of love and being loved, and your mom's so proud of you, and oh my gosh, harness those emotions, harness that feeling. It's giving me goosebumps just talking about it. Harness that feeling of how amazing that moment in time was, whether it happened or not. Create that moment the way you wanted it to be and feel it. When you feel it, it will become, those neural pathways start to form new connections, new memories, and you no longer see
yourself as it was.
You start to see it as
it want it
to be.
Exactly. And if you have problems with that, Richard, go back to Joey's, just go on his profile and just watch his videos, how Joey himself rewrote his story. Okay, because you're going to be absolutely amazed with his. He thought he was coming from this alcoholic father, and in fact, he came from somebody else's father, which is a better version. He was like super happy with how he rewrote his story. Can help you to rewrite yours, Richard. Just go and watch those videos to help you out. That's just the beginning. You can.
And he did say, he responded, he said, it was a powerful exercise. I thought it was done. I've forgiven her and myself. Obviously wasn't over. Man, had a lot of tears. It was brutal. And that's this journey, Richard. That is this process.
Exactly.
This is not a one and done thing. This is a over and over. You just dipped your toes in the cold water, and it was a little uncomfortable or a lot uncomfortable, but you just dipped your toes in. Now it's time to put the whole foot in and go a little deeper and harness a few more emotions. You're not gonna fix it all in 1 or 2 sittings.
Oh no.
This is going to take practice, just like
we were do a lot of crying
with Mary. It takes practice to rewrite these memories, to rewrite that programming, and that's all it is. I used a great analogy on a class I was teaching yesterday, and it just came to me because I think I assume we've all been there, but the idea is how powerful our subconscious mind is in the fact that it doesn't know what's real or what's imagined. Okay. And the best way I could explain it was, if we imagine a sexual moment in our life, everybody can do that. Every adult can do that. A moment where we just had a thought that got us excited, got us aroused. Nothing's happening except we're thinking about that moment in our mind, and that arousal that we get from it. That's the idea of how our imagination is so powerful. You're not physically in the act of having relations. You're not physically being sensual with your partner, but all you have to do is think about a moment where you were sensual with your partner. And your whole body ignites, your hormones start pumping, the serotonin's going, the dopamine, and your whole body reacts just to that thought. So it doesn't matter if it's physically happening to you or if it's only imagined. It's a biochemical reaction in our body that makes it feel real. So we just have to continue to practice the feeling. Like Neville says, the feeling is the secret. We have to learn how to feel more and experience more emotion in a controlled manner. If we
That's
let
for
our emotions just go haywire, then all hell breaks loose because we start creating out of emotion, which is typically through fear, anxiety, the fear of the future, or the sadness of the past. But
yeah,
being in the present
it's
moment
true.
allows us to then focus on right
We have to
here,
take
right now, and to
ourselves,
feel now. You know, to being that's what mastery is all about.
yeah,
Being
take ourselves
in
out
the
of that, take ourselves out of that state. Because I mean, Richard, for me, like this week, I had felt so much. Even today, yesterday, I was helping somebody, and I felt so bad, crying about something, and I was like, I need to take myself out of this. And the easy way to take yourself out of this is put yourself in another state. So you have to take action towards this new state, and this is what we have to do day in, day out. Because the our mind keeps us back there, keep us taking us back there. We need to exercise to not be there, and it's the most difficult thing to do. Because if we want to stay there, we just stay without emotion, and we buy that emotion, and we stay without emotion forever. Those emotions are not going to leave us until we understand how to deal with them. So I could say, like, if I want to stay in that state I was yesterday, because I felt everything from everyone. I was crying, 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 crying. Today I'll be crying as well. What I do, I just stay out of the zone, completely out. I said, no, I am not this, because I don't want to stay in this state. So you go out to do things to take you out of this state, and then you feel the way you want to feel. You just have to act on it, like everything else. That's it. Correct?
well said. Yes, yes. Let's see. It's Mary. Mary said, right, like your body doesn't realize it's a real experience or not. It recognizes the feeling. Is that correct? And creates the results physiologically that we need to change.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Everything is mental, but in this three-dimensional world that we currently live in, we still have to use our physical bodies to experience the reality that we're living in. You know, none of this is real other than the perception of our senses, seeing and feeling and experiencing it. And the physiological changes in our body are the direct result of our physical senses experiencing something, whether it's imagined or real. So absolutely correct.
The mind doesn't know any different, by the way. The mind doesn't know any different. It's just you have to act on how you want to feel. Because, like, example, again, yesterday, Maribel and I were talking behind the scenes, very little because I was emotionally wrecked like she was. But then I took myself out of it just by action, the way I want to feel. And I even mentioned a few things to several people today, how I'm seeing myself in the future. So you imagine how you're going to be, you see yourself how you want to be, and you put yourself in that state. It doesn't matter when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, it will eventually will happen. Like everything in life, either whether it's a car, a house, a relationship, a lottery, whatever you claiming that you're going to be, your state, because remember, you're just delivering. You just planting the seed, and then you put it out the signal to the universe, and it comes the point the universe is so used to it, it will have to deliver because you already put the frequency out. So you cannot give any doubt. You know yourself that you're just not going to be there forever. Whatever, how you feel, bad, it's not going to be there forever. So you're going to say, yes, I feel this, but I'm not this, because I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to live here. This is just a test. But what is a test? A test is just an emotion. Are you going to be attached to that emotion forever? No, you need to get out of that emotion. It's only thought. So you observe in your thought. We already spoke about this time and time. If you have to repeat this every day and every Tuesday, we will repeat until it sinks in. Because we are limited to believe we're going to be like this forever. And we doubt, we say, okay, I'm doing that, but is it going to come? Yes, the is it going to come is already a doubt. Right. You're going to put yourself like, I'm putting myself in this state because it will come. And I have no doubt that it will come for me. Whatever it is that you're seeking, there's zero doubt.
Belief,
yes, zero doubt. Yes. Always. I know it's difficult, but I've had several experiences about it. And it's entirely up to you how you're going to end up. Because ultimately, it's your life, it's your body. your mind is just playing to see you back to the beginning, to see how good you are with it. Your mind is playing tricks every single day, and it tests you. Are you going to think like this, or going to be like this? So you always doubt in your mind. You always having a battle between these two parts of the brain, and you keep sending signals to yourself. Is it really? Well, if you say, is it really, you doubt it. So your brain is testing you again.
And the other big factor in that is, we talk about it all the time, is the idea that time cannot play a factor in this, in your evolution here, in your change. It's going to happen. You have to believe it. You have to know that it has happened. It will happen. It already has happened, right?
Exactly.
But we cannot jump on that idea of time. When we put a time frame on win or expectation, when we have an expectation of it, it's counterproductive. It's actually putting up a wall that's making it. I think we talked about it last week. That resistance. We're creating resistance when we try and put time expectations on things.
It's true.
When we eliminate it and just trust precisely. When we eliminate it, the aspect of time, and put trust on it, everything starts to happen very quickly in a lot of instances, but some things cannot physically happen quickly. Some things must take time, because that's the lesson we're here to learn.
Exactly.
If we could do it instantly, then we'd have no purpose to be here right now. We'd just move on to the next level and bypass this whole crazy illusion.
But we must not forget, today I've shared some realities with my grandchildren, me and my grandchildren, and I for anybody that is there and have not seen this, go to the picture where I've shared some 10 typical examples where you give your power away, because remember, you are the God, the creator. So if you doubt in yourself what the God, you're not going to create anything. So just go read those 10 things that I've shared today on my feed, and believe those things are the ones who keep you there all the time. Anything that you give your power to, or anything that you give your power to or doubt to, it's going to happen for you. Because ultimately, we are here to test. But sometimes we think, oh, but this is probably not my time yet. I used to think like that. So time is non-existent. So I don't know. So I can't read because I run glasses.
Mary said one thing that has helped her was to think of all the crazy things that have happened to her and that have come true, that she strongly believed would happen, even when others didn't believe that they would. And that's exactly the idea of the belief that it will happen, or that it has already happened. But it's the practice. It's the constant practice of doing that, regardless of what anybody else thinks. Remember, there is no one else but you. It's only the illusion that there's somebody else that's controlling anything. You're the one controlling it, and your own thoughts, your own beliefs. So we have to just it is a never-ending having to remind ourselves of that. When we finally get to the point where we don't have to remind ourselves and we're just living that, then everything will change. But until then, it is a never-ending daily reminder that there's nobody else. We're creating this, so stop creating the bullshit.
Exactly.
And creating the beauty, really, is what it comes down to. There was a great quote, or I thought of it the other day when I was journaling, and it was, everything is an invitation to change.
Yep, everything. And it starts with us, because if you think, oh, but this is not my time yet, that you giving your time a delay again. Because I used to be like that with my property journey. I get so much frustration with my journey and about my property, but it's because I give in too much resistance to it. So now I say, do you know what? Whatever is, because I know I am not living in here. I'm not in this reality. I'm somewhere else, and things are shifting for me. So whether it's my time today, tomorrow, I don't put a time on it anymore. You can't put a time on things to happen, because when we put a time on things to happen, they're not going to happen. They're just going to stay there. Right. So now I say I'm the creator. I'm creating this time, and my time is now.
Yes. There is no other time but now.
Now. My battery is on red. So if I disconnect, guys, just carry on listening to Joey.
If what?
if I disconnect, carry on listening to Joey.
Yeah, your battery's getting low. So,
yeah, but that's fine.
This idea that everything is an invitation to change, and we need to look for the synchronistic opportunities, meaning we always need to be open to the idea that everything that's happening to us, good or bad, is an invitation for us to change. So we need to look for those synchronicities, those the coincidences, because there are no coincidences. We need to be looking for, when things happen in our lives, see behind the why and understand, why it's happening for our betterment. It's happening for our good. Whether
it's decision making.
Yes, we need to make good decisions.
It's decision making.
Knowing that, having the faith, having the belief that it is here for our best interest and not working against us. So
I apply things like this now. For example, if you go to a supermarket and you have to buy your bread, but you have so much types of bread on the shelf and you think, I fancy this, but you are undecided what bread to buy. If you don't know what you want to buy, you end up buying something that you're not planning in the first place, correct? So this is where we reality creators do the same. So if we keep messing our mind, not knowing where we're going, eventually the universe gets confused. So you want to go there and you're going right and you're going left. You are confusing yourself with these thoughts all the time, every day.
Clarity and focus.
Yes. So when you take all this muddle out of your brain and say, okay, I want to go right because right suits me better than left, then you know where you're going. No direction is no making. So you can't create anything if you have no direction. And this is why a lot of people can't do anything these days. And that's why I couldn't do anything myself, because I've always not sure of what I wanted. I was like, do I want to be in a relationship? So I create everything in my favor to be where I want to be. So when we create everything that is for our highest good, because we know it's going to be for the better version of ourselves, then there's no doubt. Even if that's a painful decision, you need to decide. Decisiveness is the only way you can make it. If you keep saying, but now I've ended this, but I don't know if I can survive without it. It's your decision. It's your decision in the first place. You decided for the highest good. So now put yourself in another version of you where it's going to be the best version of you, and not think about whatever was, and think, where are you heading? And this is why everybody else is like, I'm not sure. Because if you're not sure, you're confusing yourself and you're going nowhere. Is that correct?
Yes, very well said. And, it goes to the idea of, like I said, the focus and the clarity. We have to remember that the human brain has, on any given day, 60,000 different thoughts going through it all day, every day, from the moment we wake up. So if we've got 60,000 thoughts going through the average brain every day, how many actually are you focusing on? Let's say only 10,000 of the 60,000 we actually devote any kind of time to, and I think that would be a huge amount. I'd say it's a lot less than that. When you think about single-minded focus, you're at work, working on a project. That's one thing you're focusing on, maybe for a couple hours. So that only leaves you 22 while you're sleeping then. So let's say if you've only got 12 waking hours, now you've only got 10 hours for the other 60,000 thoughts to happen. So it's single-minded clarity. That focus is so important because our subconscious, again, is directing 58,000 thoughts a day. So those 2,000 or however many thoughts that need to be focused and single-minded, have clarity on, those need to be your primary thoughts throughout the day. Don't let the subconscious thoughts override the programming.
It's very hard.
It is very hard.
It's very hard. I must tell you, it's not an easy thing to do, right? Guys,
Yes.
That's why people get so frustrated. That's the word. People get frustrated because they say, but I'm doing it and I do not get it. Because you're not getting it because you still give resistance to it. And I have several things in my life, and everybody, even Joey, probably have them, that when we program this to be that, it's no other way. You have to program to be where you want to be. Mm-hmm. There's no other way. It will not fail you. I promise you will not fail you.
Yes. No, we're never failing. We're just getting those invitations to change, whether we acknowledge it. That's our awareness. When we're aware, that it's an invitation, it changes the whole ball game versus it's just happening to me. You know, this bad thing or this annoying thing is happening to me. No, it's an amazing, wonderful, beautiful thing happening to you because it's giving you the opportunity to choose to do it a different way or to stay on that same path and keep the hamster wheel going again. Yeah. That's all this is. Let's see. Richard said, question, Joey, how can you override the 30 times? Let's see. Say, how can you override the 30,000 times you're useless? Okay, when I become suddenly I wasn't feeling fun. That I don't know what that means, Richard. How do we override the 30,000 thoughts you're saying? If that's the question,
have to raise your vibe.
Yes, how do we override that? I like where you're going with that, Liliana, your vibration. I was actually going to talk about that as the next topic. So why don't you go down that path and then I'll chime in.
Well, Richard, I have many thoughts like you because my life hasn't been easy, as you know. And, I had challenges like you, many, many challenges. What I do is I don't keep there anymore. I say, okay, the thought is coming, but I'm not that thought anymore. I'm observant my thoughts. So I just put some music on and dance along and I forget about it. I say, okay, it's still there. If it's still there, just say, go away because I'm not you. You are trying to keep me locked there, but I'm not there. And I know this because I'm the God, the creator. The God, the creator can't think like that, negative. Anything that is negative is not you, the God, the creator. It's your lower self. You operate in a lower version. And how are you going to step up to your higher version if you keep giving feed to that thought? You are giving feed to that thought yourself. You say it comes 30,000 times because you allow it. Because if you change your vibration, it will not come 30,000 times. It will reduce for maybe 10 times. And once you practice it really well, it will reduce to nothing, to no thought. And you say, oh, I'm feeling great because that thought is never right today. So it didn't arrive today because you worked on it.
Yes, absolutely. The vibrations, I wanted to mention, the vibrations, everything has a vibration and it's a different resonance, different level. So when you're thinking about anger and fear and hatred, that is a specific frequency. That's a specific vibration.
Anxiety,
where, unfortunately, most people are living is in that vibration of that negative, or let's just call it lower density vibration.
It is.
And there's a higher density where you come from love and compassion, joy, happiness. That's a whole different level of frequency. But we can't a lot of times see that frequency. It's like it's an entirely different color, right? If we think of it on a spectrum of color, it's an entirely different color spectrum that we can't see because we're only vibrating at a lower density. We can't see a rainbow only is visible under the exact right conditions, right? So therefore, we can't see happiness, joy, love, compassion sometimes because the conditions aren't primed. The conditions aren't there for us to see and recognize them because we're living and we're choosing to stay in that lower vibration of fear, hatred, anger. So how do we raise that vibration so that now we can see the rainbow? Now we can see those other qualities, those other frequencies that are always here. We just aren't aware of them because we're not able to see them. We're operating at a lower frequency. How do we do that, Liliana?
The way I'll say this to Richard on a personal level now is you're not Richard, the autistic guy. You are the Richard, the God, the perfect one. It's whether you give thought to which one you give thought the most. Because at the moment you're operating, I'm the autistic guy, the unloved one, the one who has limitations and challenges. As if you keep feeding that, then you're going to have more of that. So like me, I had fibromyalgia before. I speak fibromyalgia purely for example, because I no longer live there. I was giving thought to this. Even I had friends that disconnected from me because they thought I was trying to make them crazy. And I said, no, this is my prime example. I don't give feed to that state anymore because I'm not that. I'm a perfectly healthy human body. And I felt my pains and whatever coming, shifting out of my body slowly. I was, oh, this actually works because I am the creator of my own health. So a lot of people say that's nonsense because you can't. Yes, you can. Sometimes I help people around here on the holiday parks on Mondays and Fridays, and it knocks me out on my neck. But when I come out, I stretch myself fully and I say, no, I'm a fully functional body. So there's no way I can have these pains and afflictions. Although I understand they're there, it's up to me if I want to keep in that state of limitation, of health limitation. So I say, no, I'm not this health limitation. I'm no longer have my fibromyalgia in my body. So I shift that completely. So I get home, I do a few stretches because the body is not made to do some things anyway. And as soon as I stay out of this mentality, I'm new again. It's entirely up to us which state we want to focus on. Does that make sense, Richard?
Well, you made an important point there, and I just lost it. I was going to respond to it, and then I just completely went blank on it. As far as our health, you said people don't believe that we can rewrite our programming, our biology, our physical DNA. And that's simply not true, because our bodies, our cells, our molecules in our bodies, we have to remember they're rewriting themselves and replacing themselves like everywhere from a month to, I think it's 6 months. We're replacing every molecule in our body, or even our bones. Old cells are dying, new cells are regenerating. So the fact is, given time, every cell in our body will completely be brand new over and over and over again. And what is causing our cells to program the same way each time? If you had fibromyalgia, what is causing our cells and our DNA to activate, to recreate the appearance that you have fibromyalgia? Is that physical, or is that our brains? Yes, our brains are continuing to believe that is who you are.
Every time we are negative, every time you're in negative mode, just say, no, I have this condition, then you still have the condition. But if you shift that and say, no, I actually don't have, your brain will actually respond to it, say, no, I don't have. Believe me, because I've been there. I have more health now at nearly 50 years than I had 20 years ago. And you ask any of my children that know, they used to bring me the bucket for I could throw up. Hey, mom, she's throwing up again. She's in pain. She's got this. Yes, I was feeling that thought all the time. And I worked so many limitations, where now, rewriting this to myself, I say, no, I'm not this. It keeps me there by coming back sometimes. It tries me. Let me see how she's going to respond. If I give a little pain on the neck, on the nape, or whatever, and then I say, no, I'm not this. You can come back, but I'm not giving a thought to you. I'm speaking to myself all the time. It's like I'm having two people inside of me saying, no, you're not in charge of me. I am. I've got the physical. I'm the physical. Whatever you are, trying to tell me that I'm going to give you this today. No, this is my responsibility to create something else for me. And then when I give thought to this new reality, which is the health state, this unhealthy state has to go away. Simple.
Absolutely. You said it right. You continue, you catch yourself, you're aware, and you tell yourself, no, this is who I am. That is not who I am. Exactly. I did the same thing in the spring of 2020. When I blew my knee out, I literally tore my knee all up. I couldn't put weight on it. I couldn't walk on it. I was in bad shape. And over the course of the next couple months, I could barely walk on it. But I kept telling myself I was healing. I was getting better. My knee is strong. It is brand new. It is the perfect DNA blueprint of how it was built when I was born. And it can repair itself and go back to that perfect form again. And before I knew it, after 2-3 months, all the cells in my body, they died and rebuilt themselves. And they built themselves in the image of what my perfect knee was. I didn't need surgery. I literally corrected my torn knee all through my own power of believing that my knee was corrected. And I've done that for a lot of.
And I know you did, because I follow you about. We would just join the reality revolution, the group. Remember?
Right.
And we used to tell our stories in there. And I remember your story, and that's a perfect example of how you rewrite your health on your knee.
Right.
So this is true.
I've created my biology my entire life. I have been sick since I was probably in my teenage years. I mean, I'm going on 30 years almost 25, where I don't get sick. And you know why I don't get sick? Because I have told myself since I was young, I don't get sick. I do not get sick.
I'm telling that every day now. Yeah.
Do I get a cold? Do I get sniffles here and there? Do I get
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Little infections? Yes. But do I get sick? No, I don't get sick. I don't work out like I should, but I continue to have a great body.
I get it on full moons.
You what?
I get it on the full moons. That's it.
On the full moons?
Yeah.
So yeah, I tell myself the image of who I believe I am, and that I'm an athletic, tone, good-looking person. And
yes,
this is the image I believe I am. Yeah. I just continue to be it.
Yes,
I don't put on weight. I don't have to really do much to have the appearance I have because of the belief I have of who I am. It just continues to recreate me. And if I want to build muscle, if I want to get stronger, if I want
this works. This just
bigger
works.
Biceps, I do the same thing. I imagine myself getting bigger, stronger, more muscly, whatever you want to call it. And lo and behold, my body starts to actually become that without having to work out. It's the craziest thing, but this is the power of our mind. This is, and there's scientific research. You can literally find how that works. And they've done Russian experiments years ago with their Olympic athletes, and they outperformed the ones that did meditation and had this positive belief in who they were, actually built more muscle and outperformed the guys that were training 10 hours a day. They trained half the time and were stronger, faster, better than the guys that trained more, because they were using their mind half of the time and their physical training the other half, where the other guys were all the time training. So it's super powerful in the words we use to recreate or to continue creating the image of who we believe we are. So yeah, my battery is going, so I'm just down to the last minute anyway. So perfect timing, you made it. It sounds like.
So whoever was here watching, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. Just we have maybe Joey want to talk about this. We're launching reality practice in April with the 12 apostles.
Yes. We'll announce it next week, like the full announcement. I got to put some videos together for it, but we've got huge plans. Huge exciting news coming out in the next week regarding the future of reality practice and where we're headed with all of this. But stay tuned, guys. Going to be amazing. We're going to change the world one soul at a time.
That's my phrase. Yes.
We've got an amazing team that's going to be working for us here, and together we're going to help anyone and everybody awaken to our true purpose, our true reality, and our true power of who and what we are. So yes, stay tuned over the next week, and
thank you all for
news coming. So everybody that tuned in, Diana, Richard, Mary,
thank you so much.
Tina, let's see.
Oh,
Michelle,
beautiful people. Oh, beautiful people.
All for tuning in. We'll see you again. Lorraine was in here.
We're doing this for you guys
next week, same time. Well, it'll be 6 o'clock your guys' time next week once the clock's finally shift. So be good. Until next time, love you all. And remember to ask yourself, what reality are you choosing to create today? Bye, guys.
Bye.